Hey there. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages. I'm Shadow, the Otherworld Gamer. Now, if there has been one thing constant in any world, it's music. It's a driving force between cultures, and no medium would be complete without it, not even video games. And this episode is a special countdown in dedication to music and games. We're going to be looking at the instrumental tracks, no vocals. Also, to establish the rules, only one song per franchise. And for those who disagree with my choices and what order they're in, well, you can put your mouth to better use and suck it. Before I begin, I want to give a special shout out to a couple songs that actually almost made it onto the list, but couldn't due to superior tracks in their franchises.
For most who started during my generation, this is one of the first tracks that we heard, and it hooked us onto video games immediately. That being said, this hasn't exactly held up against the greatest over the years for me, so I really can't place it much higher. Still, it's an unforgettable track. If anyone saw one of my first countdowns, and mind you, this was before I debuted as the Otherworld Gamer, you would know that this is my absolute favorite Sonic track on the Genesis, and there is no doubt in my mind that this is one of the best overall video game songs to listen to. Unfortunately for this track, there is one better. This is by far the most epic of all tracks in the entire Mega Man X franchise. Listen to it and I'm sure you'll love it. But much like the other special mentions, I have one I prefer from the overall franchise it belongs to. Number 12. Fast-paced rock and roll theme for a fast-paced game. This is truly the one theme of the game. Hell, even the original franchise on the Nintendo that defines Ninja Gaiden. But here's the thing. All the tracks are pretty good, as they should be for a defining ninja game. However, the rest of the tracks are not quite as awesome as this one. It has a fast-paced, bring-it-on feel to it that has that classic 8-bit charm to it, and will forever stand as a hidden gem on the NES. Number 11. Rarely does a single track fit all battles across a franchise. For this one, it does for the Super Star Wars games. Now granted, it wasn't in the first one, but it was for 2 and 3. And this song is hardcore, much like most of the bosses are. You could be walking around doing nothing, then this track plays, and you know shit is about to get serious. Whether you're fighting the first ice monster, a swamp monster in Dagobah, or having the final battle against the Emperor himself, this track is all about using the Force to lay the smackdown in a major way. Number 10. In a game such as Donkey Kong Country, where there is a lot of good tracks, there truly is none other quite like the final boss theme. This one makes it on the list because of how it progresses. You start off with a little chipper tone, happy to have made it, but as the fight goes on, the music quickly escalates into something harder, edgier, while still keeping its pirate ship theme to it. And there is no better music number to accompany fighting a fat lizard on a pirate ship. Number 9. Speaking of giant lizards, here's another one for us. Imagine that you just defeated what could be the boss of the game, and the castle around you has crumbled. You get the feeling that it's far from over. That's what the first part of this track captures. When the battle actually begins against Big Baby Bowser, an awesome, fast-paced rock track plays, giving you the sense of ultimate urgency because you know it is. This is the big battle we've been waiting for. A classic track indeed. Number 8. In case you haven't played it, like maybe some newer gamers, Chrono Trigger is a fucking awesome game. Its music is fucking awesome. But one track that stands above the rest is the final boss theme, World Revolution. Imagine, you're about to face the intergalactic beast that was gonna throw the entire world into decay, and it's only up to you to stop it. This is the only fitting music that can possibly be heard during this epic battle. It sets the mood for the entire fight, and it does sound all over the place, but for good reason, because the battle it's near perfect for a final battle to save the world from being fucked royally. Number 7. Talk about powerful right here. Very rare does a current instrumental song get me worked up as this, but this one does it well. The Halo main theme, it's got that eerie gothic-like sound of monks chanting, but done in such a melodic way that it's extremely enjoyable, before going all out in a sweet, hard guitar melody that pumps you up for some action, hype you to kick some ass. A great song to get you ready every time you're going to play a game from one of today's most successful franchises. Hell yeah! Number 6. Aw, fuck yeah! Now this is a classic track. Most gamers that grew up in the 90s were familiar with this hidden gem because we played the hell out of Streets of Rage 2. One of the best games on the Genesis, this beat-em-up's first stage had an awesome music number to it. I have little doubt about how much this track has been remixed, especially since this is the perfect clubbing music. Oh yeah, it's one of those tracks. But at the same time, to be perfect dance club music, it also has an amazing track for fighting, and that is truly awesome. Number 5. Oh, there is no question that this is one of the most iconic video game songs ever made. It's a track that oozes adventure and triumph, and as you can tell, it's not my favorite of all time, but that doesn't take away from what a magnificent track that it is. My personal favorite version of the song is from Link to the Past, because to be honest, that was the first Legend of Zelda game I played, so that's the reason why it stuck with me. But I digress. It's simply one of those things that gamers can agree will remain part of our game and culture life in some way or another. Number 4. Ah yes, this song. Quite possibly the most recognized song in both the original and X franchise, this song simply kicks ass. And it should, because when we hear it, we're on our way to kick our main enemy's ass in a major way. We're coming for Dr. Wily. Oh yeah. As for my personal reason for liking it, well, it's got that rock and roll edge that I really dig, and it's just awesome. No other way to describe it, really. Number 3. This is truly a cornerstone of final boss themes. Dancing Mad has an excellent build-up of a gothic choir with organ music signaling the arrival of Kefka, and when the battle finally begins, oh man, the music hits you hard. This is the feeling of dread having to face the god of destruction that is Kefka. And ultimately, this fight should not be defined by any other music track. Just listening to it gives you a chill, constantly running up and down your spine. An epic final boss music to one of the most epic games ever fucking made. Dancing Mad? Well, it's just one hell of a song. Number 2. Wow. Just wow. This is easily one of the most beautiful tracks I've ever heard. Coming from another all-around amazing game in Legend of Dragoon, this really does set up something beautiful. We usually hear this when you are taking a trip down memory lane, such as the Dragon campaign, and this song immerses you into a whole new realm. It's one of those few songs, even to this day, that not only makes me feel as if I'm right there, but it gives me goosebumps as well. Extremely amazing work. And my number 1 video game instrumental music track is... Don't deny it. This song rocks because if there's one thing that Sonic Team is good at, is music. Now, in spite of the rest of the game not being what it could have been, well, with all the glitches and weird storylines, this is one track that delivers quite well. One could say that because of Sonic 06, it's a gem amongst the rubble. We get a teaser for the opening credits, but when you're against the final boss, the corrupted sun god Solaris, this is what you hear, as you do battle to not only save the world, but the entire space-time continuum. It's fast-paced, and sets the mood for the final fight. And really, that's all that matters. This song has that special feel to it, that it can suit just about any given fight in just about any given game. And that's why this is my all-time favorite video game instrumental track.